Hey there, welcome to this tutorial and welcome to our YouTube channel. You will want to hit the subscribe button because on this channel we share accounting related content. In this tutorial we are going to see how to use QuickBooks Online in order to manage sales or invoicing with discounts and in different locations with the use of a third party application Erplain. We are going to touch a lot of things, so check on our outline on the screen and let's get started. First, you will need to log into your QuickBooks account and Erplain. For you to do that, you click on your email and you will have to enter your password. So I'm gonna enter mine. If you have multiple companies with this very same email, QuickBooks is going to propose you to select the company you want to log into. So I'm going to take the test company with Erplain. And there I am at the home screen. If you also need to log into Erplain, you get to Erplain the .login or .app, or you must have received surely an email from your administrator. And in that case, you get to the mail. You have received a mail like this one. You get to the mail and you click on this link and you will use your email and your password. So I'm gonna do that right away. You could click on this link, which will take you definitely to the login page, and then you use your email on the email tab, and the password is the one which was sent to you. So you can later on change your password. The default password is sent to you on invitation. Do not make the mistake to create a new account, because if you do that, you surely not going to have access to teamwork. And if you have been invited, you might not really want to take sign in with Intuit. So you use the password and the email which was given to you, um, or which was sent to you by email. So I'm going to use that to sign in. So I'll wait a second for it to sign me in. And there I am, my homepage for Erplain. Very first thing we are going to see is how to create products. We will create products, see how to create products in QuickBooks and in Erplain. Now, we need to create products such that we can manage them per location. As a result, I'm going to create some products, or I'm going to create a product in QuickBooks, show you how you need to do when you create a product in QuickBooks, and possibly if you have to create a product in Erplain, I'm equally going to show you how to go about it. When you create a product in QuickBooks, you go to the sales tab and you take products and services, or you could also go to the gear icon and you will see products and services. So at this point, I already have a good number of products. If I want to create one, I will take new, and I will select what type of product I want to create, which is surely going to be inventory product. In this case, I'm going to put the name of the product. And I will give a SQU code, which is a specific code for products if necessary. Then we have the option for categories. Categories is simply a means for us to classify our products in QuickBooks. In this case, we are not going to select categories because we do not really want to categorize the products. And in this case, you also have the possibility to select a class. So in QuickBooks Online, when you want to manage your business per activity, per location, and per category, there are two things you should take into consideration, which are classes and location. Category, here selecting the category is different from a class and is also different from a location. Category is simply to categorize the list of products. And in terms of class and location, the class purpose for class is to track income and expenses by category, like department, product line, or services. So it is mostly used in order to analyze the performance of the activity of the business per activity. But when we talk about locations in QuickBooks, we're talking about tracking income and expenses by physical or virtual location. So that could be stores, warehouse, and so on. Like maybe you have mini stores. Like in this case, we're going to be dealing with mini stores, the main warehouse, Obili store, Singa store. And here you see in summary, classes is in relation to what, while location is in relation to where, because there is usually that tendency to make a confusion or to not know exactly what to do when it comes to classes and locations in QuickBooks Online. So at this point, I will not really select the category, and I can put an initial stock for the product, put the date of the initial stock, and select the inventory asset account, put a description. If needed, I'll just copy this. Oops. Hold on. I'll just write it back. And I will copy this. I can just repeat it at the level of the description, then give it a selling price. I'll allow it under the income account and then the purchase price, and allow it under the cost of sales account. So that's how products are going to be created in QuickBooks. But when it comes to Erplain, for you to create products, you get to the left bar and you'll see products. Under products, you click again on products if it is for products, or services if it is for a service. So here, when the QuickBooks and Erplain are linked together, anything you do in QuickBooks can be brought back to Erplain, and anything you do in Erplain can be brought back into QuickBooks. But if immediately what was done on the other side or on one side is not yet on the other side, then there will be a need to refresh or to update the database such that there can be a communication. We are going to see later on how to make those synchronizations. But if I want to create a product in Erplain, I will take the button create. Already I have the possibility to give a name, so I'm going to create a product. I'm going to call it Ohada plan. I can give it a code, and if the product has a barcode, or if I manage barcodes in the company, I will just scan the code and put this way. Like for example, this is a product I'm creating, so I will use a barcode scanner, and here is the barcode. I will take this way, and you can see the code of the product has appeared. So if I have a description to give, I can put it here. While creating the product in Erplain, you can put the initial cost, like how much it costs in getting this item. I will put this price. If I want to put a customer minimum order quantity, I can do that. I can equally enter an initial stock level. I will put 1000 units, and initial stock warehouse. So I decide on which warehouse the initial stock is. So we're going to see later on how to create the different warehouses or the different locations. I can put reorder points, say 100 units. I can give it a selling price, say 3000. Yeah, we're dealing in France here, Finn. And if I want to put a recommended retail price, I can do that. So here is the purchase price of the item, which I will just make it to be just like the initial cost of the item. If I have an image for the product, I can select it here. I can select a preferred supplier. And what else? I can put the weight of the product. I can put the region of origin. I can put the brand and all the other stuff. So here you have the possibility of selecting the type of product it is all about, if it is a single product, or if it is an inventory assembly, or it is a kit, and so on. But here I'm just going to create it as a single product and take save. So as I take save, it will take me back to the list of the information concerning this product. And if that's fine, then I'm just going to close it or go back to products from here at the top. So here you will now see the list of products. If you can remember, we lastly created a product called class 3 English, and you will see from QuickBooks it has already been updated into Erplain, and this is it with the initial stuff. So this is a new product I just created. That's how you create products in Erplain and in QuickBooks Online. Let's get to the phase of managing our inventory. What do you do when goods are being purchased, or when goods arrive the warehouse, when there are multiple locations? First thing is you must create locations. You should create locations both in QuickBooks and in Erplain. So locations which simply represent the different stores or warehouses where we keep stuff. So for you to create location in QuickBooks, you get to all list, meaning from the gear icon. I repeat, from the gear icon you go to all list, and from here you scroll down, you will see locations. So here I already have some locations. If you want to create a new one, you just click new, you put the name of the location, say for some, and you take save. As simple as that. So if when you create the location at this level, you also come in Erplain and you need to create the location. The reason why you're creating the location in Erplain and in QuickBooks is because you need to link them up such that anything you do from QuickBooks in terms of that location is attributed to that which is in Erplain, and anything you do in Erplain should also appear at the level of QuickBooks because they are linked together. So for me to do that or to create the locations, I will definitely get to settings, and from here I will go to locations. At this level, I already created the same locations which are in QuickBooks, and I'm going to create the next one, which is Bafusam. And from here, I select whether it is a warehouse or a store. I'm going to put a store. If I want to put anything like shipping cost, phone number, I can do that. And maybe select the country where it is located, and if possible, specific addresses concerning the warehouse or the store in question. So I'm taking save. So after creating the location, it is not yet okay. You need to link the location which you created in QuickBooks and the location you created in Erplain. So in this case, you get at the level of apps, you get to apps, and in apps, you have to go to configure QuickBooks. As you go and configure QuickBooks, you have the possibility to have a tab for location and the inventory. Scrolling down, you will see the different locations mapping. So you need to map the locations which are in Erplain with the location in QuickBooks. I will take the drop down. You can see the other ones, I had already mapped them. This one, I'm also going to map it to its own location in QuickBooks. At this point in time, I take save and everything is okay. So after creating the location, it's fine. When goods arrive, you definitely need to either make enter a bill if it was bought on credit, or enter the purchase document in question. So QuickBooks on its own doesn't manage the stock situation per location, but you can post transactions per location. As a result, if I go, for example, to sales, products, and services, and you want to check on the stock situation, you will notice that here, for example, this product called French Class 1 has quantity on hand 10,000 units. All the 10,000 units are in one space within QuickBooks. But the reason why we are integrating Erplain is so that at the end of the day, we can distribute the 10,000 units to different locations. As a result, you making might be a purchase in Erplain will take it to one. You can actually decide to make the purchase from Erplain, but I will actually prefer to make the purchase directly from QuickBooks. And then we are going to see what happens. For these 10,000 units, for example, if we go to Erplain and we get to inventory, we get to stock level, you will notice that this very same product class 1 equally has the 10,000 units. So it will show quantity on hand in Erplain and quantity in QuickBooks. This pure BO means QuickBooks. So if I take the little drop down list, you will see that already I had distributed some units in some locations, like the central warehouse. There are 7,999 units, and in OBD there is 2,001 units. So what happens when you buy some products from QuickBooks? When you buy some products from QuickBooks, it will enter in the default warehouse in Erplain. Later on, you will now have to distribute the inventory in different locations. How do you set the default place where inventory will enter when you make the purchase from QuickBooks? You can get at the level of apps. On the left side of your screen, you go to configure QuickBooks, and then under the option location and industry, here is where you select the default location where quantity enters when it is being purchased from QuickBooks. So here is the default. So if I select here central warehouse, it means that each time I will make a purchase from QuickBooks, it will enter in this default location, central warehouse. So I actually want it to be so because our central warehouse is where we make the purchases. So I'll simply, when I change my bill, I'll put the correct one, I take save, and I will go to QuickBooks and enter the expense or the acquisition of goods. So I will go to new, and I can decide to enter a bill or enter an expense directly. So I will just take, for example, a bill. where in this case the bill will just signify that we have bought goods from this supplier on credit, because already here we're going to select a means of a payment schedule, and from here we can we do not have any means of payment, which it is a bill. We will later on go and pay the bill. So already here the location is selected, which is Douala main warehouse, which is fine because this is the main warehouse. This is just for transactional motives, because in QuickBooks, this being selected doesn't guarantee that you are going to have a quantity different in other location. It is a transactional setting. So I will go under items. I select the items which are being bought, say this item, and say which other item will I select? Okay, I'm also going to take, okay, I'm looking for Ohada, the book I just created in Erplain, but I can't see it in QuickBooks because I created it in Erplain and it has not yet updated. If I need to see it in QuickBooks, it means that I need to refresh the database in Erplain. And for me to refresh the database in Erplain, I go to the left bar under apps. I will have the possibility to get at the level of products. There's a synchronization for products. And here I can either synchronize from QuickBooks to Erplain, or I can synchronize from Erplain to QuickBooks. So what I want to do right now is to synchronize from Erplain to QuickBooks. So I will take Start Exportation. And at the top right, you will see the time that is taking and all the synchronizations you are doing here. It's completed. If I go back here, I am normally supposed to now see the product, but for me to see it finally, I need to close this back, refresh QuickBooks. If after refreshing you do not see the product directly into QuickBooks, what you can do is that you can go to Erplain, you go to the list of products. I'm here on products, and then you get to the item you just created, you click on it, and here you will have an option to send to QuickBooks. So you take send to QuickBooks. As a result, when you go to QuickBooks, you will now see the product there for harder plan, and you will see that you can not send it back, you can just remove it from QuickBooks. So from here, I'm going to make my purchase, get to new, enter a bill, select the supplier, and select the products, not under category, but under items. So I'm going to select this product and the other product here. So I'm going to say I'm getting 13,000 units here, and here I'm getting 20,000 units with my unit price being 1,300, and that is it. If I want to classify it or put it on a particular class, I can do that, but I will just take save and close. So here is the purchase I have just made. When you check on the Ohada plan, you will see the number of units, and when you check on this other product, you will see the number of units are there. If you now get to Erplain, you can get at the level of inventory, stock level. From here, you will see the stock situation. As of now, you will notice that for this product, class 3 English, in QuickBooks, it is 13,100. For Ohada, it is 20,100, but in Erplain, it is just 100. So either you just keep being patient or you refresh, and if after refreshing it doesn't work, then you will have to update. But usually it will update alone with time. But I'm in the haste, I want to update it rapidly. I will go to App, QuickBooks Configuration. I get to Products, and I will synchronize from QuickBooks to Erplain in terms of products. So from here, it's gonna start the synchronization, and it is completed. So if I get back to my inventory, stock level, I will notice it's synchronized 13,100, 13,100. Now, what I want you to see at this point in time is where the goods have gone to. If I click on the little drop down for this product, you will notice that all the 13,000 has entered in a warehouse or the central warehouse or in the store, because that is what was initially selected. Now, what if you need to distribute some of the products into different locations? At this point in time, you get to the tab inventory and you take stock movements. Stock movements, you can create a new document for stock movement. Already the existing documents will be here. I will take create in order to create a new stock movement. For a stock movement, you need to select the departure stock location, so the arrival stock location. So the departure stock location in this case is going to be the central warehouse, and I'm going to be sending part of the goods to this other warehouse called Obili. So at this point in time, I can get to this level and select the product. So when I get to every item line, either I begin to search for the product, or I select it directly if I see it, or I use my barcode scanner in order to get it. So for this item, I never enter the barcode number, so I'll just select it this way. And how many units am I transferring? Let's say I'm transferring 1,000 units. The other product, this other product, which I earlier scanned, I'll just use the barcode, and that's it. It's selected. So I can either press the enter key or the tab key in order to select it, or I could just go click on the product because it could filter it with the barcode. And I'm going to transfer, say, 5,000 units. In every line, you're going to see the stock balance after the transfer from this location. This stock balance is the stock that is left in the departure location. So if these are the products I want to transfer, if I have any notes to put there, if I have any attachment, I can put it here so that we can easily trace the document. If there's a physical document that was made for the transfer, you could attach it at this level. So I will take save, and here the transfer has not yet been completed. If you want to download it, you can download it. If you want to preview or whatever, but always make sure arriving at this page you take transfer the product, because as you can see, the transaction is still pending. So I will click on the button transfer products. Now you can see it's completed. You can see the number of units which have been transferred, in total 6,000 units. And if I want to print this, here I have a view of the document. I can print it and send to my receiving branch. However, so that's a document, you can print it, and or is fine. So that's it. I will get back to stock movements, and you will see the stock movement is there. It definitely means that some goods has been transferred. If I go back at the level of inventory stock level, you will notice that for this product English, it is still 13,100 units, and here it is still 20,100 units. But when I click on the drop down, I will then notice that it is true, it is 13,100, but 12,100 is in the central warehouse and 1,000 is in Obili. So if I need to make some other transfer, might be transfer from the central warehouse to another warehouse, I simply go again at the level of stock movement. I simply create another document, and for this other document, I'm still going to select this departure warehouse or the departure stock location, which is the central warehouse, and I'm going to be sending some to this other warehouse, Bafusam. So here I will definitely have to select the products. I can begin to search, or I could use the scanner. So here I'm transferring 3,000 units, and here I'm transferring 2,000 units. Good. So I can take save, transfer the goods. Completed. So if I go back to the stock level and I hit these products, you will notice that it is now in 3 different locations, still giving the total of 13,100. But in this case, 9,000 in the central warehouse, 1 at Obili, 1 in Bafusam. So it doesn't stop you from transferring from one location, which is not the central warehouse, to another location. You can actually transfer from Obili to Bafusam, from Bafusam to Obili, from Obili to Tinga, and all of those just by still going to stock movement. And while creating the document, you select the departure location, which could be from Obili, might be to Tinga. So I'll just give it a last try for this product. Say I'm transferring 100 units. So I'll hit the save button and then take transfer the product. As I get back to the stock level, you'll notice that for this English 3 book, it is still 13,100, but in 4 different locations. So that's how you make the transfer of goods from one location to another. Everything is the same unit, 13,100 unit, but when you go interrogate this stock situation from QuickBooks, you will just see 13,100 without specification of wherever it is. So that is it for stock locations. So now, how do you make sales in Erplain? How do you reconcile it with QuickBooks, and how are the finances managed? For you to do or to make the sales, you have to understand that all sales will have to be done from Erplain simply because the sales agent are in different locations. The respective locations are going to be used. That's why we are using Erplain. If the sales are done from QuickBooks, they will be exited from the default warehouse which has been selected in Erplain, and it's going to make some complications. But if something of that sort was done, there is a possibility to arrange it or to fix it simply by making some kind of stock removal from from a location and the entry from another location. So we really don't want to be getting these kind of stress. As a result, all the sales should be done directly from Erplain, and they will be updated at the level of QuickBooks. So if I go to all sales, do I have any sales in QuickBooks? No, I have no sales in QuickBooks. I will get to Erplain, and on the left, I will take sales and I'll create an invoice. At this point, I will hit the create button because it's the first invoice I'm creating here. Or at the top right, I will see create, which I can hit on the button. And at this point, I can begin to select the customer to whom I am making the sales. Say I'm selling this product to Profess Consulting. Invoice number automatically generated. And here is where the game is played. When making the sales, you have to make sure that it is your location that is selected. Already, as a user, when you log into your account and that you are from a particular location, admin must have granted you your default location, and it will always appear at the level of location. But it doesn't stop you from always checking whether the location which is selected is your exact location. So say I'm making these sales from Obili, not the central warehouse. Let's say I'm making the sales from Obili. If I have any external reference and so on, any billing methods and so on, so I could do that. Here I could have a global discount, good and fine, but here I'm not going to put a global discount. I can select the discount type, whether the discount is in percentage or in value, and the tax which is put in place. So while creating products, usually you have the possibility to put a retail price or wholesale price. So for this document, you have the possibility of deciding the price at which you're selling the product to this customer. If the prices are retail prices, you select recommended retail prices. If the prices for this particular customer are wholesale prices, you still have the possibility to select it. At this point, you begin to select the item. So let's say I'm selling this, my old Ohara plan. I'm going to scan, and here we are done. I'll take the tab key. The selling price, I think I entered 3,000, and here we have the quantity. Already you will see what's available in stock for this item on this column, and here say I am selling 500 units to this customer. If there is a discount to apply, I simply put the percentage, say 18, and VAT, you should select the VAT or the tax account or the tax associated account. If the customer is taking something else, say this product, I select it. The stock which will appear for this customer or for this in this form will depend on the stock which is available only in the location which you have selected, currently being Obili. So from here, I will put the units which we are selling, say 200 units. And however, while creating the product, you could actually select the default tax so that you should not have to come and always select the tax at this level, because it can be stressful sometimes to put maybe 10 lines and always selecting the tax code. But while creating the product, you could do that and it will appear at this point. So those are the products. Let's say we have a discount here of 12%. I just put 12 and that's good. It will calculate, give us the total. If that's fine, if there's any note, I can add a note. If there's any terms and conditions, I'm going to show at the end of this video how to set up terms and conditions so that it can automatically appear. If there's any document to attach, you could add a file at this level. But if everything's okay, you can simply hit the save button. When you hit the save button, it takes you here. You have the possibility to have a view of the PDF and the possibly let me say download it, or let me say print it out. So I'll just click on it so you see exactly how the interface is going to look like. I have personalized the interface, and it will select the different products. With the barcode, we can decide not to be showing the barcode of the product on the template. I'm going to show it at the settings, which is last part of the tutorial. It will show the quantity, however the headers and everything is set up, the quantity, the unit price, the discount, and so on. Then here it's showing that it is unpaid yet, and it is going to show the total units sold. In total, we are selling 700 units, and here it will give the subtotal, which is pretty much recommended, meaning the subtotal without discount. So this is it, total without discount being 1,900,000, the discount being 318,000, then the total or the net payable. So everything is visible at the level of the template. You could print that and give to the customer. So that's it. It's not paid. If there is need to add a payment, then we could add the payment. Just that I have not created the means of payment. So I'm just think we could just go rapidly and create payment method. So at the level of settings, I will get to payment methods, create a payment method, call it cash, and take. Okay. So here I get back to my sales invoice, and I can get into. Oof, I should have just clicked on it. I've taken edit button. So here I can add payment, and the total amount payable will appear at this point. If the customer has made a partial payment, here you select the partial or the amount he has given. I will just put the 1 million. Payment method. Now I can select the payment method cash. If there's any note to add, I add it, then I take save. All this being done, you can now see it is partially paid. You will have a quick summary about the invoice in question, and that's it. But as you can see here at the left, on the left hand side of our screen, you see this invoice hasn't been sent to QuickBooks Online. If you go to all sales, you will not see the sales yet until you get here and you take send to QuickBooks. When you hit the button send to QuickBooks, it's going to transfer this into your QuickBooks app. If you kind of refresh it, you will then notice that there's an invoice created worth 1,582,000 partially paid, and the amount due is that. So now the good thing about this is that due to the fact that when you were making the sales at this level, you selected the specific location, which was here as being Obili. If you open this invoice, let me just take edit. If you open this invoice, you will notice that due to the fact that we initially linked the location, it will be in terms of this location Obili. As a result, the accountant will not really worry again, because the amounts have entered in the specific location where it is supposed to be. As a result, you can also have a report per location simply by making your sales from Erplain. The only thing that the accountant should take into consideration at this point in time is the fact that some discounts were applied on this invoice. The total amount is actually, I think, 1,900,000, but the net payable is 1,582,000. The discounts 318,000 has not been accounted for in QuickBooks because the prices in QuickBooks came already been discounted. Because QuickBooks doesn't have an item line for, meaning doesn't have discounts per item line. As a result, QuickBooks has taken already the net amounts, brought it into QuickBooks instead of the gross amount. That is why the invoice is showing 1,582,000 with no discount. So the accountant needs to be very keen at this point in time, because at the end might be of the reporting period, she will have to enter in Erplain's report and extract all the discounts and post an account entry at the level of QuickBooks. So I'm going to show this when we get at the level of reports where you can get the discounts which were granted. That is how you make sales. You can hit the link to get back to the list of invoices. All your invoices are there and everything is fine. What happens now when you make these sales? The stock situation, I'm going to close this. The stock situation will deduct or will reduce from QuickBooks as a whole. It was first of all 13,100. In QuickBooks, you will see 12,900. Good and fine. No worries. But in Erplain, if we go to inventory and check on the stock level, you will notice that it is also 12,900. But the particularity about it at this point in time is that it has deducted only from its specific location. If you can remember, here, this is not what was there. I can't really remember what was there. I think it was 900 and we sold like 200 units of this product. So that is it. For each of the product, you can scroll, you can take the drop down and see the stock per location, or you can also hit on the product directly. When you hit on the product, it will take you to the details concerning the product. Everything concerning the product will appear and everything is fine. That is how it affects the stock situation per location. So what does the accountant do with the discounts which were not recorded in QuickBooks? All the discounts are already in Erplain, so it's all about getting to Erplain and checking on the discounts which were granted. So if we get to intelligence on the left hand side, there is a set of reports already existing. So we have reports in terms of sales report. We have reports in terms of payment and invoices. We have in terms of inventory, in terms of sales orders. In this situation, I will go in the sales report precisely per location. So at this point in time, you will see, for example, the sales transactions which took place in all the locations. The locations will be shown here, the total without taxes, the amount, and here you're going to see the discount. So the total you will see here is the discount which was granted, and you can see that per location. If you want to customize this interface in order to see some more information concerning sales report, because I am currently in the sales report tab, there is this icon here, sales report, and I can filter the report in different ways. I can see the report, for example, per user. If I want to see maybe this very same report only per user, I am the only one who made the sales, and all the users will appear instead of location. So it is now per user and not per location. I can maybe check the sales report per customer. So you see now all the customer. If you can remember, I sold to Profess Consulting. If you see, you will now notice that the report is showing in terms of that. So you can equally print that in terms of product. If you select per product, you will see all the products and all the quantities, the prices, the discounts, and everything will definitely appear. If you need to filter more columns, like you want to see more information in terms of the columns, maybe I want to see, for example, all the sales report per product, per customers at the same time, and per location at the same time. So I can get to customizing the columns, and I tick what I want to tick here. I can tick, for example, adding it also to be in terms of customer, so that for this product it shows how many units were sold to this customer. I can check it might be per month, per year, per day. I can decide of whether I want to see discounts or not. I can in fact, I just need to come here, select the criteria of filters I want to do. I can add also it by location. So at this point in time, you can see that the report is much more detailed because it's showing the products which were sold, the location, and if you want to customize, for example, where which column should stand, it's just by standing here and carrying it, displacing this way. So you see, in this case, it will now show customers first before showing the products, before showing the location. If I want to put location first, then I come to this arrow, I take it this way, and it will show location before the customer before. So this is how you customize reports. In any report you enter, there's always this option of columns in order to arrange the columns in order to see much more information. And here you can specify a filter of how you want to see the data. Here you can then export. If you want to export this report, you can export it into Excel, either in a CSV file or in an Excel file, and you go make whatsoever treatment you want to do there. So that's how you can maybe customize any document. I'm not going to enter in all of the reports again, but that's how the interface is done. And if you want to return, you hit reset column filter, and the columns will reset to normal. So in this case, I then noticed that the discount is 318,000 after all transactions, and it is from a specific location, which is Obili. So I will just come here and in QuickBooks and post the account entry for the discounts, which to enter the discount at the level of QuickBooks in the form of account entry is first of all to recognize that the sales which came into QuickBooks are discount exclusive, of which the discounts is kind of part of the sales. So, and it is not receivable anymore. So what I'll do is that I'll just get to new, I'll take journal entry, and I'll increase the sales with the discount, because normally when sales are done in QuickBooks, the account that is credited is the sales of product account, for example, to the debit of cash, for example, and the amount that is debited or credited at this point in time is the gross amount, not the net amount. It's a gross amount. And in this case, we just need to come here and debit discount given, for example, and we credit sales of product, so as to increase our sales of product account. Oops, here, sales of products. I'll increase the sales of product account by the value of the discounts granted, and debit the expense account for discount granted. And since all this discount was done just within the same location. While posting the journal entry, I'll select its location, which is Obili. So everything is known. If, for example, there were many transactions and there are many discounts from different locations, and let's say, for example, the discounts in total is 1 million, but 300 and, or let me say 500,000, or let's say 400,000 is in Obili in terms of discount, and 600,000 is in, say, Tinga. So what I would have done simply will have to come here, and for the discount granted, if that of Obili is, for example, 400,000, I'll put 400,000. Here I'll still put discount given. I'll still debit 600,000. Now the difference at this point in time will be the fact that in terms of location, I will select Tinga. Then I will then credit sales of goods with 1 million. So it will increase the sales of goods with 1 million. But just that, you might want to also get reports in terms of location for the sales. As a result, I will equally credit 400,000. So I can attribute this to Obili for the sales transaction, sales of goods again, and I'll put 600,000. But at this point in time, I will select Tinga. So that is the solution I have in terms of transferring the discounts where they belong to, so that discounts for given from Obili can be there, which is an expense. Discount given from Tinga is there, and the balancing account, which is going to be the sales of product, will equally be there. But I stick to the first one which I actually did. So here Obili, and it is 318,000. I think it was 318,000. I think so. 318,000. So that being done, I can put a journal number. I can put a memo, being repartition of discounts. So as a result, I can hit the save and close. Take years because I've not selected the class, and that is it to solve the issue of discounts. So if you are admin, you will want to set up for other users. So I'm going to show some settings which are there. Under settings, you have might be the possibility of setting up alerts. If there is any alert you want to be setting up, you can do that, but I'm not going to go so much into that. Here are the company settings. In terms of the company settings, you can change the name, address, the company's logo. You can put a logo. I think I entered. That's why here on the invoice you can see a logo, because I entered the logo at the level of the company settings. Any other settings in terms of VAT, you can equally put maybe your social media links, so maybe customers can see that. In terms of currencies, this is where you select the currency or create currencies. If you make transaction in USD, you can equally create the currencies at this level just by hitting create, and you put an exchange rate. Here we have an email template. If you need to send emails from invoices, from shipping orders and everything in Erplain, then here is where you create the type of information which will show on the email. If, for example, you are to email your customer with an estimate, for example, here you define, for example, the name that will appear on the email. You might not want to put the to whom it is sent immediately, because it will be selected at the level of the product. But if you want to edit what mail is sent to a customer, maybe for an invoice, you hit the invoice button, and there you will have the possibility to edit all of those, whether it's estimate, sales orders, purchase orders, movements, and everything. This is where you set up the email. You put the name, and you write there the body of your email. You can equally import data. If you have massive information to import into Erplain, you can get at this level. You hit the import button. First of all, you select what you are importing. Is it your list of customers? Is it your list of suppliers? Or is it your list of products? Or it is your list of stock levels or your prices and everything? You just hit what you want to import, then you take the import button. So I mean, you click on select your CV, CSV or Excel file, and then you will hit import. It's just going to import them. You have payment methods. We've seen that already. Now, PDF settings. PDF settings is where you set up the way all your documents look like. As you can see here, by default, you will not see subtotal in Erplain's printed document. It is at this level of the settings. You go to PDF settings, where you can set up how the PDF is going to look like. So here you can get and take, for example, the font, the paper size, the language of the PDF. You can change it from here. You can automatically translate if you want. If you want to add some payment information, you can add it. If you have, for example, some terms and conditions which are usually added on your invoices or whatsoever, you select it from there. However, anything you're editing here at the top is general. Now you can get down here and have some specific things that you might want to tick or untick for specific type of documents. Like for example, in terms of movements, stock movement, these are things you can tick or untick. With already nothing is ticked there. But in terms of invoices, you can decide whether you want to display the terms and conditions, whether you want to display shipping addresses and everything. You decide what you want to display. If you can remember, I said we could remove this barcode. It is at this level. You could decide not to display the barcode on your invoices, and as a result, next time you will print, it will not show barcode anymore. This are now general information. As you can see here, you can decide to display the product picture on the invoice. If you accept that, it definitely means that every time you print your invoice, you see the product picture. You decide on many other things like display large pictures of product. Here I ticked show product variance subtotal. So this subtotal, the subtotal, which is the gross amount, the amount before discount. So you decide on whether you want to tick whatsoever or whatsoever. Everything is customizable at this level. If you want to display the customer's email and everything. But once you're done with specific modification of the PDF and everything, hit the save button, else you will not, or you will lose your data. You can create price levels. We've seen how to create locations. You can create the different taxes, and here you can also create the different users and attach them to their respective functions. So in terms of synchronization, if you go at the level of apps, you can go to configure QuickBooks, and here we have seen some options already. Anything you need to synchronize in terms of inventory location, in terms of product, in terms of customers and service. It means if you create anything, any product from QuickBooks, you want to bring it back to Erplain, or something from Erplain you want to bring in QuickBooks. These are the different sets of information you can connect. Like already we saw location and inventory. I will really not advise to tick this option, block automatic synchronization, because we actually want automatic synchronization. Here we already saw the default location where products will leave from QuickBooks into Erplain. If you just did something in Erplain and you want to bring it to QuickBooks, you come hit this start synchronization. If you did something in QuickBooks and you want it back into, and you want it to come into Erplain immediately, you can come hit on this. But already automatic synchronization is activated, and with time, anything you do on each side can go automatically or alone. Already we saw how to synchronize the location, and you can see how when transaction goes to QuickBooks, they are updated. In terms of the products, you will notice that you select here the type of pricing which will come by default on your products when you enter in the sales form. If you have lots of data, or you have made a lot of stuff from QuickBooks and you want to bring it to Erplain, you can come and take import. But already, as you can see here, after every 15 minutes, data is being updated. Same thing, if you want to export some data from Erplain to QuickBooks, you just take export, and vice versa. Now, in terms of products, maybe you must have created a product in QuickBooks and you also created the product in Erplain, and they are kind of double. So in order to avoid that, you can map the products. You can map the products, or also you can use this functionality when you create a product in Erplain and it is not synchronizing into QuickBooks. What you do simply is that you go to QuickBooks, you create the exact product, then you come and hit these map products. As a result, here you will see your products in QuickBooks. You'll see your products in Erplain on this side, and this side you will have the possibility to select the product you want to map with from QuickBooks. So that is a functionality which can help you when you create products from Erplain, because at times when you create products from Erplain, they do not synchronize automatically to QuickBooks, and even after taking the synchronization button, it doesn't go completely. So that's a trick. I'll turn back. In terms of customers and suppliers, same thing. It will synchronize alone, but if you can move it from Erplain to QuickBooks, from QuickBooks to Erplain, in terms of customers and in terms of suppliers, each time you create them in different places. Here is the ledger account. Here is where the different accounts are linked up together. Like when you create or make a transaction in Erplain, there is an account which is called the income account. So this is where you come and select the default account from the chart of account existing in QuickBooks. Which one will match with the account already in Erplain? So all these usually comes by default. But if you have a different account you want to attribute, then you come here and you change the account. These are some main accounts which are managed at the level of Erplain, which needs to be linked up to QuickBooks. In terms of taxes, if you create taxes in one side, you can get at this level and they make mapping of the taxes you have created in QuickBooks and those that which are in Erplain. Same thing with payment methods. Here is map existing payment method in Erplain with payment in QuickBooks. So yeah, I could just come and select an account in QuickBooks which could represent this cash account. So I could take cash and cash equivalents, and if there were more accounts, they will have all appeared here, and I could just be selecting them in order to map them. But when I do this, I should hit save, the save button, so that each time I make a transaction in Erplain with cash, the cash should go specifically to this account in QuickBooks. In terms of documents, we have already here this option which permits us to automatically synchronize transactions from Erplain to QuickBooks. If you untick this, it will definitely mean that it will the two softwares will not be synchronizing anymore. If you created any custom field from QuickBooks, you will have the possibility to attach it here. And the last option here is for you to disconnect. In case you want to disconnect Erplain from QuickBooks, you simply come at this point and you hit the disconnect button, which is not really what we want to do. In terms of intelligence, you can get all sorts of reports you want in terms of sales, in terms of payments, in terms of inventory, and you print them for the better management of the business. Lastly, you will then notice if you need, for example, to print out your reports in QuickBooks, you can go at the level of the search bar, or let me just get directly to reports. And I want to get, for example, an income statement. Let me say profit and loss. I'll take profit and loss by location. So you then see the profit and loss by location, the cost of goods sold and everything. So just exactly the way the sales were done in Erplain, sales by location, everything comes back into QuickBooks exactly the way it is supposed to be. So that is what I have to share concerning Erplain, QuickBooks, managing inventory per location, discounts per line. Get to you at the level of the comments. If you have any question, you just write down the question, and I will be very glad to assist you. Get to you in our next tutorial.